see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining in.
Well, good morning and welcome to episode 887 of the Lots Project Morning Show, where the coffee is strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything is always filter free. I'm Brian, your host, and it's May 11th, 2026. This morning I'm enjoying a fresh cup of light Honduran from foodforestfarms.com because life's too short for shitty coffee. At Food Forest Farms, your beans are roasted by real human hands using a clean stream air roaster. More than just a customer, your family. Get 10% off with code LOTS10. That's LOTS10, and shipping is always free. While you're there, check out C4 Club for even more awesome perks. Today we've got another packed show, scaffolding and ladders that didn't kill me, some wild laundromat observations, and a look at hantavirus and whether we're about to get another round of fear theater. Grab your coffee, smash that like button, and let's get started. Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope everybody had a good Mother's Day, especially the mothers and people with mothers, I guess. Good morning, Mike Homestead. Thanks for stopping in and Rewild Their Life. I saw you got a nice Mother's Day present. Rewild Their Life posted a picture over in the Telegram group of her new kitchen weapon. Good morning, beautiful people, she says. This Honduran is doing me right this morning for sure. Get going. Little tired, not too bad today. It was a long weekend. Got to talk about all the progress we got done out on the cabin here in a little bit, and some of the techniques we used, and some notes I have on this week's progress. But yesterday I popped out, and Corey had to stay home. She had some stuff to do here, and we got our goals done for the week. We've been knocking them out pretty good, not running into too many issues. So we're getting an extra day there where it doesn't line up logistically to start the next side of the cabin, because then it has to sit all week, and we don't want it to rain on the wood and things like that. So yesterday I went out and started prepping some more area for the solar field, and running the weed eater down in the brambles and the blackberry bushes, and it does a number on the shoulders, and a little sore this morning. So coffee is working well. I did sleep good last night, but woke up and was just a little tired. It was just a little too early. Maybe stayed up just a little bit too late last night. So anyway, let's get to that Bitcoin guessing game contest. Get that out of the way real quick here. Got a few guesses in this week. If you want to know the price of Bitcoin, I guess my thing just wasn't charged enough again this morning. If you're watching the screen, the red light, green light is not on, but I think it's down just a fraction from yesterday at this time. But Bitcoin price on May 11th, 2026 at 6:05 a.m. is 80,992. We've been over 80,000 for the majority of the week, I think. But that price again, 80,992. Let's look at those guesses. My guess again for a bunch of weeks in a row, and now it'll change this week because we've actually topped it again, or topped it finally. My guess was 79,876. Not quite close enough. Chris Dixon thought we were going to bomb this week. He came in with a guess of 76,899. John Palmer in with a guess of 78,910. Both a little too low. Up on the high end, Pip came in with $82,994. $82,944.27. Pip always throwing in that change, gets a little trips me up. Blueberry, Texas with that guess, 82,500, and Scrambling in with the win again. Scrambling in with the win. It's been a while since Scrambling won, but multiple time winner before. Scrambling with a guess, 81,499 with the win. Congratulations, Scrambling. You win absolutely nothing. For my guess, I think I'm gonna pop up there quite a bit next week, I think. So May 18th, I'm gonna say we'll be at $84,321 is my guess for next week. If you want to get in on the guessing game, head on over to the Telegram chat, check for the pinned message, and reply with your guess, and we will talk about it next Monday morning. All right. With that, Bitcoin looks like it's trying to take a little run up. It seems to be slowly and steadily rising and getting a little better. Might go on a little run here. Might go on a little run. If you have a big stack of Bitcoin, if it's on the exchange, get it off the exchange, please. Just please. If you have it in Coinbase, if you have it on I don't even know, Binance. I don't know what exchanges are even available in the US anymore. It's not really how I go about procuring my Bitcoin. But if you have it on an exchange, get it out of the exchange. If you have it in a software wallet and you're stacking for long term, if you're just hodling, if you're building a stack and you're not planning on using it, if it's more than you would probably keep in your billfold or maybe a checking account. No, checking account's semi-secure, but if your stack's getting there and it's getting a little bigger, you might want to consider a hardware wallet. Blockstream Jade has plenty of options. They have the Jade Plus, they have now the Jade Core, and I believe they're still carrying the original Jade hardware wallet. Super easy to use, easy enough for a beginner, but it's going to grow with you, and you're going to be able to customize security settings, and it'll be with you for a long time. I've really enjoyed them. Their customer service, their app is great. And now you can use Lightning and Liquid from cold storage. So really, even the excuse that it's hard to use or it's locked up away is invalid anymore. So check out Blockstream. There's a link in the video description, or if you want to head over to store.blockstream.com, if you use code TheLotsProject at checkout, you'll save 10%, and you will get me a little kickback, and I'll appreciate that. And I believe you also, Real Life says, bless you, Corey. Yeah, I was in the middle of reading that, and Corey let a sneeze off back there. Bless you, Corey. I believe that if you use the code at Blockstream now, you can actually get your 10% back in sats. You can get it back via Lightning in Satoshis, right, in Bitcoin returned. So you can add that to your stack if you pick it up. So if anybody's done that, let me know. I'm not in the market for buying a new Jade. I have one sitting here. Actually, I have two sitting here. So I haven't tried that system out. If you do try that out, let me know and tell me if you get your savings back in Bitcoin. Man. All right. So cabin this week, we're getting excited. We got I think we are 3/4. I guess we could call it 3/4 of the way. We have three of the 4 walls metal on the walls, which is exciting. This past week, we tackled the first of the 2 gable ends, which was the peaked ends. So I hesitated to say 3/4 because those are the 2 shorter ends of the cabin. So we have the 2 long ends, the 2 long sides done, and plus the enclosed porch and the porch roof. So we've done a significant amount of metal. But left after we completed the 1 gable end, we still have the 1 left, and we left the one with 4 windows for last, which will be an interesting experience. So the gable end went smooth, I would say. We had some challenges. One of the things that I had been thinking about and trying to figure out how to accomplish was how to get to the peak of the gable. If you've been listening at all and you've been following the process of putting up this metal or the windows or anything of the cabin, really, we were able to borrow some scaffolding from a friend, and it has been a lifesaver doing the windows with it instead of doing them on ladders. It's come in really handy with doing the metal siding and getting up to the top rows of where we have to screw it in. But with me standing on top of the scaffolding, I can reach about I don't know, I would say 14 feet maybe. And I mean, one-handed with a screw gun and trying to screw in metal screws. So it was stretching it at 14 feet. The peak of our gable end is like 18 feet, maybe 19 feet. I don't know. It's up there. I couldn't tell you. We were cutting metal sheets and they weren't going all the way to the ground. So I could do the math, but I'm not going to right now. It's like 18 to 19 feet in the air. And so I was trying to figure out how I was going to get up there. And, I have an extension ladder at the property. I wasn't really excited about trying to maneuver that, trying to hold the sheet with Corey at the bottom and me at the top, and trying to put screws in and get everything lined up, and then moving the ladder and hanging off the ladder. The sheets are 3 foot wide, so it's a stretch to be on the ladder on one edge and reaching out to the other side. So I was trying to avoid that. We talked about putting a ladder on top of the scaffolding. And so during the week, I kind of did some measuring. I got the scaffolding kind of put in place and threw a ladder up there. We borrowed a couple of the Little Giant ladders. Well, one Little Giant, one similar model, but a little bigger, from another friend. And borrowing tools, man, it's been a lifesaver. But it fit perfectly on the scaffolding. I shouldn't say it fit well within the width of the platform on the scaffolding. And I got up there and I kind of wobbled it around, and it felt pretty sturdy. So Saturday when we were out there and we started putting the sheets up, got the first two sheets on, and I was able to reach it just standing on the scaffolding. And then the next one, grab that ladder, put it on the scaffolding, and I needed to go up. I probably only needed to get to the center. I think I was only up 2 steps on the ladder, which was enough for me. I'm not a huge fan of heights to begin with, and being up there kind of wild and free up in the air with nothing to hold on to, I wasn't super thrilled. But it was really stable. Corey I didn't even have her come up and really hold the ladder or anything. We did tie the two planks I made for the top of the scaffolding together to get it a little bit more stable. But it worked out well, and I felt safe. I didn't feel in danger of falling. It didn't feel wobbly. I wasn't concerned that I was going to tip over. So that was a relief, and it made things go pretty easy with the top of that metal. I don't think really had many issues getting up and down there, other than just it was a lot of getting up and down the ladder, the scaffolding, up and down all day. So, but the metal went smooth. Windows were interesting. We really set the wall plan where the windows went, where we installed them. We designed that from the inside perspective, which, I mean, you do, I guess, when you're building a layout of a cabin. But it didn't necessarily work out the best for the layout for the metal on the outside. So we had one piece of metal that we pretty much cut all the way. When we cut the window out of the sheet, we were within, I think, 7 inches of one edge. So a significant amount all the way across, and it was getting to be a longer sheet, and it was kind of wobbly, and handling it was kind of nerve-wracking because I didn't want that small edge to bend at all as we were transporting it over and putting it into place. But it worked out well. We kind of worked out a system on how to get it over there, and then get up onto the scaffolding, and Corey stays on the ground, and we lift it into place, and it worked out really well. We didn't I think we didn't have to replace any sheets this week, which was nice. The week before we had to end up taking a sheet off and putting another one on, and that's a good thing because we only had the proper amount of sheets. When I ordered the long ends, I only ordered what we actually need. So if we mess one up, we're kind of screwed until I can get more metal in from the metal place. but it worked out well. We got one little dimple that we noticed after the fact that we know exactly why it's there, and we're gonna kind of rectify that going forward on the other side. For the other side, it's going to be interesting. Those longer sheets is not necessarily a huge concern now. We kind of handled that. Cutting the angles for the gable end was pretty easy. Just measured twice and measured again and made sure we were cutting it in the right direction on the sheet. And it worked out well. The S and K shears are working well. The hand shears, and so that went well. I'm worried on the window layout for the sheets. I'm probably going to draw that out at some point when I'm out there this week and see where those sheets end up and where they land. But the short gable ends are 24 feet wide, and the sheet coverage of the metal is 3 feet wide. With the two windows on the side that we did this past weekend, we had to cut window chunks out of 4 out of the 8 sheets. I'm pretty sure unless we get lucky, it's going to be 8 out of 8 sheets. We're going to be cutting windows out and fitting them into the window trim and messing around with that. And if we get lucky, it might be 7. I think there might be a spot in the middle where we're going to get a 3-foot section where we'll be able to put up one full sheet without having to cut it out, and then hopefully I don't know, it'll be interesting. We've planned, we've been knocking out sides in 2 full work days. We take 1 day to put the purlins up and get trim up, and then take another day to get the metal on, and we're planning out 3 days for this side because we're thinking trim's going to take a little longer. This will be the most trim on any one side of the cabin, and then with all the cutting of the windows and everything, I think we're going to plan on hopefully doing 3 days. But wife's got my helper, my wife, my beautiful bride has a vacation coming up, so we do have a little extended time to work on things and should be able to knock it out. So hopefully by next Sunday we'll have the metal all on and moving on to trim and get everything sealed up, get the corner trim done and the gable and the eave trim done, and have everything dried in, which is pretty exciting because then we can start knocking out things on the inside of the cabin. So speaking of trim, I feel like I'm getting better at the window trim. 6 windows in now at this point, and 2 doors. I've kind of got the hang of how to cut the metal, how much extra it needs to be measured, or how much extra it needs to be cut in length, and how it kind of fits together. And I think the last 2, and especially the last one on the side we did this weekend, it turned out really nice, and it was about perfect. And I was starting to be happy with the way it went. So hopefully these last 4 windows on the other end work out well, and the trim goes smooth, and we knock it out. So excited about that. Talked about clearing for more of the for the solar field. Have a bunch of trees to take down for that. So yesterday I went out and I was clearing brambles so I can lay trees down, cut them down, and they'll actually land places where I can cut them up and get that wood out of there and stack. Also have some wood, some large trees still on the ground. Actually, they're not on the ground. They're up off the ground a little bit. They landed on some other stumps and things like that. So they've been sitting, drying whole up in the air a little bit, but they've just been laying there. So I cleared out around those, and we'll have to get them cut up and get a bunch of that moved, and then drop a bunch of trees, get them cut up, get them moved, and then we'll start installing posts and ground mount for the solar system there down the hill. So it's a lot of work. We got a lot of work left. We've got a lot of work in already, and we're kind of looking back. Corey and I were coming up on not quite, but pushing up on a year since we had the posts put in and the roof put on, and just thinking of the stuff we've accomplished. And I kind of wish it was going faster. I wish it was going faster. but looking at what we've accomplished and the things that we've done and the skills that we've learned, the skills that we've taught ourselves and figured out, and all of the things that we've done, I think we're doing all right. And always want it to be going quicker, but I think for the situation and what's going on and the amount of time that that Corey has available to help and a lot of the things that just take two people to do, I think we're doing all right, and we're getting closer. So exciting stuff. So let me see what I think that's all the list on the cabin. Oh, I think next step after the trim. So we got the last side of the metal to go on, then we got corner and roof trim to do, and then we're gonna kind of move on to the inside. We're gonna hold off on doing the bottom wainscoting metal. We're gonna leave that open for access while we do utilities, while we do electric and plumbing and stuff like that, and so it's easier to get under there. Insulation also. So yeah, we're going to move into the inside, and we've kind of decided that we're going to lay floor down before we do any more interior walls. We've decided to go with just the rollout sheet linoleum vinyl flooring, the glue down stuff. We've had it in a few different places. It works really well with our dogs and the nails and the wear and the cleaning and all of that. And it's priced right. And when you buy it, it comes in 12-foot wide rolls. Cabin currently, the way that the direction we would be rolling it out is 24 feet wide. And we're going to put the same stuff in all the rooms in there. So we've decided that I think we're just going to lay that down, get that all secured down, and then start working on putting interior walls in and go right over top of that, just to simplify things and keep from having to cut it out. Keep from having to cut it into a bunch of different little small pieces. Wilder Life says, I have the rollout. It's amazing. Yeah. We've had it in a couple different places, and we know it's people that have it and they love it. And it's, man, the price is right on it. It's cheaper than a lot of other options. And I think it's going to hold up better. And then, really, if we wanted to go with a different type of flooring over top of it, it's relatively thin enough that it can go right on top. So we'll see. So that's another skill we'll learn, because we're going to end up having to skim coat all the subfloor, get that done, and then glue down the floor. So we will move on to that after, but shouldn't be too horrible, I don't think. Yeah, so that's about it for the cabin update this week. It's going well. Exciting. We'll be excited to be able to stay out there. I think we're holding off on taking the dogs out to stay with us out there until we have floor down. We don't want them tearing up the subfloor if it catching nails and things like that, and the cracks in between, the gaps in between the boards, and then also with them being so wet, slobbery, and drooly, we don't really want that soaking into that subfloor and trying to keep it dry, and doing so well, keeping it dry with the house wrap on the outside and then we would just take those guys out there and their drinking bowl and their slobber and everything would just get it soaking wet. So once we get the floor down and we have the metal walls down, we can contain them. We'll be able to go out there and spend a little more extended time, since we'll have the dogs with us. So that'll be exciting too. What else is let's go talk about last week's trip and just really in general the laundromat. Man, last week's trip to the laundromat was it was not the most enjoyable trip. Let's just say that, I guess. It wasn't, I mean, it could be worse, I guess. It could be worse. But there was just first of all, I had a ton of laundry. I had probably double what I normally had. We were doing a lot of blankets. We were doing dog stuff like dog blankets and dog sheets and things like that. We also both had just a ton of laundry, and it was cycling through where the bedding was getting done and towels and everything. So basically I was showing up with twice what I normally have on a heavy week. We really rotate. Every other week is a little more or a little less, and this was kind of double a heavy week. So it just kind of all landed on 1 week. And so there was that, first of all. And when I got there, it was just like overflowing with cars. And I was like, if we didn't have to have all the stuff done, the extra stuff that needed to be done that day because we needed to use it, I probably would have turned around and come back another day. I would have just went home and then came back on Saturday or on Tuesday instead of Monday. But anyway, it needed to be done. I don't know. Oh my gosh. It was the first Monday of the month. Oh, God. Oh, maybe that's why it was such a shit show there that day. It was the first Monday of the month. But anyway, I got it. I couldn't carry. Normally, I can carry in all the laundry in 2 baskets stacked on top of each other. I could just walk it in from the truck. I don't need a cart or anything to take it in. Last week was so much laundry that I had to run in. I had to grab a cart. I don't know if you've seen the carts that they have in laundromats. It's a basket on wheels, and then it's got a rack it goes up the side, a rack across to hang things on. And then they also have some that are just like push carts. My baskets fit in either, so either one was available. I was going to be able to grab one and roll it out to the truck and bring my stuff in. So I pop inside real quick and look around, and literally, I mean, they don't have a ton of these in there. I mean, they probably should have more for the amount of washers, the amount of people they could service all at once. I think they probably could stand to have a few more, but there's a good amount. I look around, and every single one has something in it. I walk around the whole laundromat. It's not a huge place. I just took a circle around. I'm looking through all the stuff, and every one is occupied. No one's actively using any of them, but they're all occupied. So I was like, fuck it, whatever. I went out, I grabbed half of it, I brought it in, I put it on one of the tables. I come back out, I grab the other half of the laundry, I go in, I put it on a table, and some lady walks over to me and she goes, "I was using that table." And I was just like, wait, what? There was nothing on it. First of all, when I came in and I set my stuff on, I said, "Okay, hold on. I'll be out of your way in a second. I just got to put this stuff in the wash." She's like, just huffs and kind of turns around and walks over and sits down. And I don't know what she was using it for, because she literally sat on her ass on the seat over by the wall for the whole time I was there. So that kind of just, I'm already kind of irritated at this point. And so normally we keep our laundry. We don't keep it. We take it in big old pillowcase laundry bags, and then throw those in baskets. Then we throw our blankets in baskets and stuff like that. So I normally take one of the rolly carts, dump the basket or the bag in the basket, and then load it into the washer. And so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this, since there's no carts available, buggies as they're called here, I guess. And so I'm looking around, and I look over, and there's a basket. There's a cart sitting next to me at the table next to me. And there's a basket in the cart, empty laundry basket. And I looked around, and no one was kind of looking at it. So I take the basket, I set it on the table, and I take the cart, and another lady, not the one that already yelled at me for using her table that she wasn't using, comes running over and she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm using this fucking cart for 3 minutes, and then I will put your basket in it and put it back." And she's like, "I need that soon." I'm like, okay. I'm getting madder and madder. So I take her little cart. I have to, the place is so busy that I had to like put some laundry. I usually try to put all my stuff in washers right next to each other. I had to put some in this section, some in another section. So I'm running all over the place. And the lady's just staring at me the whole time. Like I'm going to take her cart, that I guess it's hers. Corey reminded me when I got home and I was all upset about it that that we have seen the episode of Friends where it's no basket, no basket, no washer, Corey. Oh, no suds. I can't remember. I got to go back and watch it. But the laundromat etiquette episode. Anyway, I get my washer started. And I bring her cart back and I set her basket and I looked over and she's just like smirking at me. And so I'm irritated. I'm like, why are you occupying? So there's not enough baskets to begin with, or buggies or carts or whatever to begin with. And then you have zero consideration for anyone else in the whole place when you put your empty basket in the cart. I don't understand the mentality of the people that think that they can occupy this stuff when it's public use. I'm paying to use the laundromat the same as you. I should be able to use the equipment that's there. I don't know, but just rude. Staying just it didn't get any better. There were kids there, people with their kids that think it's just free reign in the laundromat. I don't understand the people that bring their kids. I understand that you have to bring your kids. Sometimes that you always don't have somebody to watch them, and likely during the day you're home as the child care giver. But when you bring your kids to the fucking laundromat, don't let them just run wild around the whole place, screaming and yelling and running into people and fucking irritating the living shit out of everybody else in there. I know you don't give a shit about your kids, but I don't need to give a shit about your kids either. So there were just fucking kids running around, screaming at each other, yelling. It was like, yeah, I was losing my shit. And then also the people that are in there that need to have their cell phone on as loud as humanly possible, whether they're playing a fucking game or they're watching videos or whatever, and they have it cranked up and it's loud in there. The dryers are going, the washers are going. There's 2 separate TVs on in the place itself that are there, that are part of the laundromat, and they have volume on both of those. And then people feel the need to then listen to YouTube videos on their phone with the volume on the speakers. No headphones, no quietly, as loud as it will fucking go. So I have to listen to that. And then some assholes playing slot machines on his, and for some reason he needs to hear the coins clinking on his fucking phone. Somebody else is playing Sonic the fucking Hedgehog or whatever other game is running all these goddamn noises. And I'm like, this is absolutely insane. There are literally weeks I go that it's me and the employee. And it's wonderful. Well, the employee, she finds the need to fucking talk to me or anybody that will listen to her every moment that she's there. So that's a little bit. I used to go on Tuesdays, and scheduling reasons, I go on Mondays, and the employee on Mondays is just absolutely fucking horrible. But the days that I go and it's just me and the employee, and the volume's off on the TVs because somebody has to request to turn it up, I guess. I've been in there. It's just been fucking the hum of washers and dryers, and I'm like, oh, this is great. Wildlife says the entitlement community. I mean, I guess that's what I get for having to go to a laundromat. I guess. I don't know. I would think that society could be a little fucking more courteous. I guess not. Hunter says, so how's that meditation book going? I didn't kill anybody, so I literally didn't yell at anybody. I didn't interact. I didn't fucking lose. I internalized it and I moved through it. I walked outside. I stood outside for a little bit, and then some asshole was fucking blaring videos on his phone outside. But by the time I went back in, by the time I was folding my laundry, so this is an hour and a half later, the kids were gone. Some of the carts were available, and it was a little calmer in there, and it went a little better. So I made it through. Hunter, thanks for your concern. The book is probably helping. I think a couple years ago, I probably would have screamed at some people. I probably would have made a scene. Hunter says not making it on the news is a win most days, right? Or being captured on video on some Facebook rant or some Facebook page in the middle of a full-blown fucking meltdown. But I don't know. It was just one of those days, and it was all the things about the laundromat that irritate me a little bit, all kind of culminated at one time, and it was bad. It was bad. I also had some. I think he might have had some mental illness. I don't know if it was chemically induced or natural, but he was trying to talk to me, and I had no idea what he was saying to me. I had it was several times he came over and he was talking to me, and it just there was no deciphering. I'm not sure what language he was speaking. He didn't look foreign by any means. But yeah, I couldn't put together what he was saying. So it was one of those days, guys. It's just one of those days, and I was just happy to make it through it. So that was that. That was that. Last week we were talking about something, and bless you, Corey, and somebody brought up, I think it was Hunter brought up hantavirus, and I was like, I don't know, what are you talking about? Cruise virus? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, what a difference a week has made. Oh, what a difference a week has made. Guys, we're all gonna die. COVID 2.0, I guess. I don't know. So if you don't know, if you've been under a rock, or you're like Corey and only see dogs and stuff like that on your social medias, and you don't see anything of the craziness, there was been an outbreak, and I put outbreak lightly, of hantavirus, and it's kind of sketchy. I think it's kind of sketchy. What hantavirus is, it's a virus that comes from rodents, from their poop and their pee, and then you get it in your lungs, and it's a respiratory infection with a 40% fatality rate, I believe, 40%. So somebody on a cruise ship, another reason why I won't be going on a cruise ever in my fucking life. Someone on a cruise ship had visited, I guess, a garbage dump, a rat-infested garbage dump in Argentina, I believe. A bird watcher. I guess he was watching the birds that were eating the fucking rat poop, and contracted it. Then went on a cruise and somehow infected other people. Now, from my understanding, hantavirus is very hard to transmit. It's got to be close contact, and it's one of the difficult things to transmit, and that's like nature in general. We talked about it back with COVID. It's viruses in general. The more deadly they are, the harder they are to transmit. Nature does this, and it's how science works. The more deadly it is, the harder it is to transmit. Otherwise, everybody would die, and all the hosts would die. Then the more it mutates, the less deadly it gets, the more contagious it gets. So it's got to be hard to transmit. And from what I read, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a virologist or whatever the fuck they're called. I can't tell definitively that it's from what I read, it's hard to transmit. You're gonna be like spouses sleeping together on top of each other. Maybe doing some extracurricular activities would probably considered close contact, but I don't think walking past somebody in the supermarket you're going to be spreading hantavirus. I don't know, maybe, and I think the guy must have been rolling around in the rat poop and pee to actually to contract it in the first place. But anyway, a couple people came down with it on this ship. I don't know why they were all in close contact with each other. Maybe it was one of those types of cruises, where they're all kind of sharing space. But anyway, a bunch went home, and so the media grabbed onto this like a fat kid grabbing a piece of cake, and it just started going apeshit everywhere. It started to look like the beginning of the COVID pandemic. Hunter says, quit licking each other's faces, you weirdos. Right? Sneeze in my mouth. Some new weird fetish. We were on a fetish cruise and people were sneezing in each other's mouths. Hantavirus everywhere. Anyway, the media picked up on it, and they started tracking the people, and they're containing people, and people are getting sick, and we don't know what to believe anymore. Now, I've tried to ignore it. Wilder Life says the war got boring. Well, I got a couple notes here on what they might have been, what the news cycle might have been not wanting to talk about. One was the war, for sure. But anyway, they picked up on the hantavirus, and fear sells. If it bleeds, it leads. And I don't know if I think, doesn't hantavirus cause hemorrhagic fever, like where you bleed out of your eyes and shit? So that would truly be, if it bleeds, it leads. Maybe that's just Ebola. I don't know. All my deadly diseases, I get them confused. But anyway, hantavirus, and they started following the people. As soon as it came to the United States, they're putting up maps of affected states, and it was getting out of control, with no context whatsoever about what the disease is and how hard it is to spread, and it was kind of absurd. It reminded me, it was like flashback to the beginning of COVID. One thing that I found interesting, and I saw it posted, that also reminded me of COVID real quick, was that Moderna in 2024, as part of a joint research study in South Korea, where hantavirus originated from, the Hantan River Valley, they started researching a vaccine for hantavirus. Now, the conspiracy theorist in me goes, holy shit, that's bullshit. Oh, better research that. And a quick Google search, and it's true. They have been researching a hantavirus vaccine starting in 2024 in Korea. So that is true. So nothing to see there. I don't know. I mean, there is the point that with the COVID bullshit and with the rise in diseases like that, it's like, why not be prepared for all of the deadly viruses. There is that, but there is also the fact that maybe we knew there was going to be an outbreak. Maybe it was just a matter of time before there was an outbreak. I don't know. I'm not one to say, but confirmed in 2024, Moderna started researching a hantavirus vaccine. Some other things that were in the news this past week that maybe could have had some bigger headlines. Another cruise ship story, and there was actually two. One was about an outbreak of neurovirus, which I believe is just the stomach flu with a little bit of extra. I'm not sure how many people actually die of neurovirus. I didn't look that up, but there was a whole cruise ship of people that got the shits from neurovirus. I had that, I believe, back the last time I actually went to the doctor, and I wasn't even going to the doctor for myself. I took Corey because she was pretty sick, and she needed somebody to go to the doctor with her. And I ended up getting sick after going to the doctor, and I believe that was the last time I've actually been to a doctor when I got fucking sicker than I've ever been after visiting. Yeah, before I got sick, I went to the doctor and ended up getting sick. So there was that. But there was a cruise ship that came down. A bunch of people on one came down with neurovirus, and man, mixed in there with all the cruise ship news, there was a bunch of fucking Disney cruise line employees that got arrested for pedophilia. Huh? Weird. Did you see that one, or did you assume that it was a hantavirus cruise ship story? Digging in a little bit more, I don't know. I don't know if Disney was actually involved. As much as it wouldn't surprise me. But it looks like it was a bunch of employees from the Philippines and Portugal and a few other places. It was in my notes here, and I'm not seeing it. But anyway, bunch of cruise line employees and several from Disney Cruise Lines were all picked up in a child porn sting, mostly child porn and not a bunch of trafficking. But what a great way to sex traffic kids would be. Pick them up on Disney Cruise Lines, huh? Captive audience. But anyway, that was in the news. Was all the hantavirus stuff was breaking out, and yeah, Rewilder Life says the war is getting boring. I had to literally look up what was going on in the war. It was hot and heavy on my news feed for a couple weeks there, and it kind of dropped off. This morning I had to actually look up what was going on because I hadn't heard any updates. It sounds like there's a ceasefire, but they're still firing on each other. Weird. It's not like that happens in the Middle East ever. But basically fighting over the Strait of Hormuz still. The U.S. was escorting ships, and then there were shots and shots fired back, and oil prices going up. And it really sounds like there's a lot of people just making a shit ton of money off of insider information with the oil markets. So every time they're going to make an announcement, there's shorts or longs being placed. And then the announcement happens and oil prices either skyrocket or dip. And some people who it should be pretty easy to figure out who they are, I would think, are making billions of dollars off this information. So is the war about our safety? Is the war about the Iranian people's safety, or is it about making a shitload of fucking money off insider information from the Department of Defense? I don't know. Also, in my little news update here that I had spit out, it looks like this was my favorite. A major Reuters report on May 4th said U.S. intelligence U.S. intelligence believes the bombing campaign damaged Iran's nuclear infrastructure less than publicly advertised. I'm sure they have weapons of mass destruction. The assessment, Iran's nuclear timeline may only have been delayed modestly. Enriched uranium stockpiles may still exist underground. Iran likely retained enough technical capability to rebuild. I God, I can't even, guys. I'm sorry. I saw something about, I was in a local Facebook group, semi-local Facebook group the other day, and somebody was talking about gas prices. And there were like 85 comments on this post, and so I was like, I'm wondering what people are saying about the gas prices. And so I go in, and I couldn't believe the number of people that were like, it's a small price to pay to make sure that Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. Yep, sure is. Saddam has weapons of mass destruction. Gotta get them. Yeah, so it's a small price to pay, guys, and it looks like Orange Man didn't get the job done on the first round, and it's going to take a while. And the scary part is he keeps referring to for the length when people are like, "Hey, this is taking a long time." He's comparing it to Vietnam. It's not ending anytime soon, guys. There's too much money to be made. There's too many backs to be scratched. There's too much collusion and money laundering going on. Just look at the Ukrainian war, guys, and this isn't ending anytime fucking soon. Literally, we could end it today. Our military capabilities are enough that we could end this today. And I think there's enough other countries in that area that are on board that you wouldn't really even have to worry about anything. Just be done with it. But there's too much to be made. There's too much to be gleaned from this, whether it be personal or corporate. So look for it to go on a little longer. Looks like they pushed for ceasefire and more negotiations, but man, they just in the ceasefire, when people are firing on each other, Rewilder Life says, or we could just walk away. I mean, we really could. Wouldn't it be nice if we just had enough domestic energy production, that we had enough domestic infrastructure that we could just provide for our own stuff? Oh wait. I'm pretty sure we could. Man, we could just stay out of everybody's fucking business. How much would our budget, our national budget, go down if we didn't send aid to anybody? I don't know. I don't know what the number is. I could look right here. Sorry, guys, about the dead air. I'm trying to spell. I don't know if we could just stop bombing people, we could stop being the world police, and we could just stop sending money to every fucking other country in the world, and just, why don't we just take care of ourselves? 50 to 80 billion per year in foreign aid programs, depending on the year and what's counted. It looks like. So that's 1% or less of the total federal budget. And I don't know. That seems hard to believe to me, but you know, why would ChatGPT lie? Oh, it's a crazy world out there. Good. Bless you again, Corey. You got some sneezes going on today. Another thing in the news that was supposed to be super impressive. Oh, Hunter says, now that I'm parked, how come no one on the ships were TikToking or Facebook streaming? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not in Iran. I don't know what's going on there. Sometimes I wonder if we're like North Korea, where North Korea they smuggle in stuff and the people are like, oh my God, what's going on? Like they're totally in the dark. Everything is controlled. Everything that they see is controlled. Sometimes I wonder if we're living in one of those situations where we're only being fed what they want us to be fed. I don't know. Hunter says Corey's allergic to the cat. Maybe. Cat's been around quite a long time for her to all of a sudden be allergic. But yeah, maybe. It's like a rolling allergy fest here in Tennessee. It goes on for weeks on end, where the allergies, the different things are blooming and different pollens. It goes on for like 2 months, I think, where randomly I'll be sneezing and my eyes will be watering for a couple days and then not for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden again, and there's just different shit blooming and sending out pollen. Rewilder Life says Truman Show. Yeah, exactly like the Truman Show. Hunter says, and if it's true that Iran is paying 12 cents a gallon for gas, is that because of the women head covering thing? We could compromise, I'm sure. I don't know. Are they just going to cover their heads? Because I wouldn't want to live in a world where women were covered up all the time. I mean, honestly, would you? I'm guessing the women don't want to be covered up all the time. Oh, the other thing that came out this weekend, nobody really fucking gave a shit, was the aliens report. Hunter says, I'm already married. I'm good. Hey, dude, just because you're on a low carb diet doesn't mean you can't walk down the bread aisle. Aliens, alien report came out. But you know what? They still haven't released all the Epstein files. Christ. How is nobody fucking arrested for that shit yet? Oh, they might arrest Dr. Fauci for his role in COVID. They're coming up. I think this week is the deadline for this week is the deadline to indict him, or the statute of limitations for murdering millions of people. causing billions of dollars in economic damage and just sending the world into a tailspin. The statute of limitations is coming up. What the fuck? Really? I can't wait to move into the woods. Oh, guys, it's time to wrap this shit up. I have nothing. I got nothing. Done. If you need comfrey, if you're looking to take care of yourself and make things like comfrey salve for bug bites and healing scrapes and healing all sorts of other things, I'm not saying that it medically does anything, but I've used it for a bunch of stuff. If you're looking to make some comfrey salve or just put an awesome plant on your property that mines nutrients from deep down in the soil, drought resistant, a beautiful looking plant that puts up a cool looking flower, tons of biomass to add to your compost, feed to your animals, or just chop and drop it for nice mulch cover at the plant site itself. Think about growing some comfrey. You can find your comfrey roots at comfreyroots.com, comfreyroots.com. Backing for comfrey, shipped to your door once a week, ships straight to your door. Put them in the ground and they'll grow. Check it out. Any questions about comfrey or the Blockstream Jade or anything else, you're welcome to reach out to me. Easiest place to find me is on Telegram, at the Telegram group at t.me/lots chat. That's t.me/lots chat. Come on over, play in the Bitcoin guessing game, and join a great bunch of people hanging out over there. Hope you have a fantastic week and get a bunch done. I will be back next Monday with another show. We'll talk to you then.